Alrighty then, gotta do a little update, kind of show where things have come. So I got the fuel tanks welded up. That took a little while. Had to repair my leaks a few times. I basically put a gas line pressure test kit on there, water line, whatever I guess, but test gauge, I'm basically just pump it up to 10 to 12 pounds, and if it holds all day or overnight, I'm good with that. I assume it'll hold fuel if I can't push air through any holes. So anyway, it looks like this is going to work out once I get that soldered in. I'm gonna mount this probably on angle, front and back. And then use rubber to set the tank on in the angle, and then also strap it down using ties of some kind. So it's kind of the plan there. So this is going to be here. Basically goes right up to where it'll be mounted on the side right there, the cap. So this will go here. That's the vent. Just plan on hooking that up the way the factory did it. I don't know if I'll use our components. This is what they use. I assume this here is either a moisture trap, a rollover type thing. I'm not really sure. Essentially, this end went on the old tank, so I was just basically going to connect that. It's obviously a check valve, let pressure out, apparently not in. And then this is the end, which appeared to just stick up through here. It just kind of goes through that. I'm not really sure what that's all about. Got a tiny little hole in the end, I believe. So I don't know. Probably end up mounting those in there somewhere and just go ahead and using them. So my plan here was down at the bottom, got a 1/2-inch welded bung, same on the other tank. I was planning on putting a valve on both sides and a 3/8 fuel line between the two. I suppose you could theoretically use it as a reserve tank if you're going on long trips. This one gets low. You open that one up and you know about what you got. But I do have another weld-on bung I was thinking on putting on that, because if I isolate it, then there's technically no vent there. So I suppose that's probably a good idea. Just whatever vent system I run, just go ahead and tie them together. And so here's where we're at with the cables. I custom ordered these. This is the trim and reverse box. So it's pretty much set up where it's going to be. This will be up a little bit more, but got to build a bracket, which on those there's kind of a bolt pattern down at the bottom. If you can see it there. And I've got a plate that went over that kind of gives me the bolt holes and all that. So I'll probably raise it an inch or two. Not too much, but and I have to build brackets off of here to secure those two. So that's going to be a little bit tricky, but not really a big deal. Haven't done anything with this yet. I might tomorrow. The plan was just to bring up a couple of square tubing and bolt through. So it's really the only way it was supported on the other one, except for it was kind of a composite panel, and it was just bolted straight to it. So I figured, well, no big deal there. That's going to end up right in that position. Still got that tube down there is basically going more or less where it's laying. Got a fitting for that to go through the transom. That over there is the water supply to the engine from the pump. Need a couple more barb fittings because the original sizes aren't your traditional 5/8 half inch. You know, it's some type of a metric thing that is close, but I don't like loose fittings, especially when it comes to fuel and coolant. So anyway, back here, that's how this worked out. I ended up pulling off the original ball ends and drilling this out, putting in 5/16. These cables are all, I think they're what they call a medium duty, where I ordered them from, and I pretty much had to go with the larger cable than I probably would have otherwise, just because of the length between here and there. Because a certain class of cable comes with a certain length of an end, and then you pick your travel from, you know, like 3 to 6 inches, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I needed that size cable to get this length of an end, and I just picked a 6-inch travel, so it gives me as much adjustment as possible. Seemed to work out pretty well. Now this is a reverse cable. It's hooked up to that box. This is the trim, because the box isn't mounted, you know, they are connected. But in the position they're supposed to be in, they were connected to the box, which from what I can tell, just looking at videos online with the back end of people's, you know, Yamaha Wave Runners, newer models, this is pointed straight out and this is up when the unit's off. You know, of course, that gearbox was, you know, the unit was shut down and then it was removed, so it's in whatever position it's supposed to be in when it's off. So, and steering cable all worked out pretty good, but I did have to go with this ball end here, this different type, not the quick disconnect. So it's like a permanent ball and knuckle joint. The only problem is I was having a hard time finding that in stainless. This is all stainless, but that's not. So I got it in there for now. I can change it whenever I need to. Of course, I had to drill these out. I drilled this hole out to be bigger. This is all 5/16 stuff. And threaded it, you know, threaded these in. This one here was just a hole, so no threads there. It's plastic anyway. Same on the levers at the gearbox side. But this is all siliconed up and, you know, shouldn't be coming off again. You know, the steering, as you can see, it's a slight cock inward because, you know, I'm pretty much as close to this as I could get. I could have got a little further over maybe, but you just can't really get close enough to this adapter to line straight up with that. Not a problem, you know, it's just cocked a little bit, everything works fine. You know, these I tried to line up as straight as possible just because they're just a straight in and out type thing. But looks like, you know, to complete that, you just have to get that box brackets built. Got the steering cable going underneath the engine. It's just laying in there for now. I'm probably going to mount the steering after the seat comes in. I'm thinking about mounting that seat because the steering is just not a big deal. It's drilling holes in the dash and mounting it, and then just adjusting the cable. So not too worried about that. Another hole I might have to put in is for the speedometer cable, which is laying right there. You got a little grommet. You know, you've got to go through the boat somewhere and pick a spot down below for the speed sensor. Fuel line is no big deal. You know, in the jet ski, the fuel tank was in the front, so it's sitting here. So basically, it's just some gas hose, barb fitting, extend it, you know, bring it back, connect it to where the pump and sending unit and all that are. So anyway, we're making progress. I don't think there's really much else to cover. Take her easy.